This is the War Brief Daily for March 27th, covering the Iran and wider Middle East theater. Tonight we are tracking four major developments. Trump's diplomatic deadline expires today as Iran rejects the U.S. ceasefire framework and hardens its demands. The combined U.S.-Israel strike force has now destroyed roughly two-thirds of Iran's pre-war missile capability. Iran is running a $2 million per ship toll booth in the Strait of Hormuz. And Lebanon has expelled Iran's ambassador, for the first time in history, as Hezbollah records its highest attack tempo since entering this war. First, the diplomatic deadline. This is confirmed. Trump's March 27th deadline for Iran to reach a deal expires today. Reuters reported on March 25th, citing three senior Tehran-based sources, that Iran formally rejected the U.S. 15-point ceasefire framework. Iran's stated demands: guaranteed protection from future military action, compensation for all wartime losses, formal control over the Strait of Hormuz, and zero limits on its ballistic missile program. Those are not ceasefire terms. Those are terms of victory. Adding to that picture, Iran replaced its Supreme National Security Council Secretary. Out is Ali Larijani. In is Mohammad Bagher Zolgadar, a hardline IRGC veteran sanctioned by the United Nations since 2007. This is our assessment. Iran's War Council is now purely military IRGC in composition. This is not the profile of a government preparing to negotiate. What happens after today's deadline expires remains the most consequential open question in this theater. Second, the strikes. This is confirmed. The IDF has now conducted over 600 strikes targeting Iranian ballistic missile sites since February 28th. In the last 24 to 48 hours, the combined force struck more than 50 targets in northern and central Iran. OSINT geolocated footage confirms strikes on the IRGC Amand missile base north of Tabriz, the Artesh Air Force 7th Tactical Air Base in Shiraz, and an extensive wave of hits on Esfahan province, including Iran's primary explosives manufacturing facility, the Malik Ashtar University of Technology, and the Esfahan Optics Industries building, which produces targeting systems for tanks and drones. Geolocated footage shows catastrophic structural damage. CENTCOM reports approximately two-thirds of Iran's pre-war missile capability has been destroyed. And yet, Iran is still launching 9 waves of missiles per day at Israel, around 70% of them now loaded with cluster munitions. IDF military intelligence reports IRGC ballistic missile soldiers are refusing to report to launch sites out of fear of airstrikes. That is not just hardware degradation. That is the beginning of a human capital breakdown. One additional item. A single source, Lebanese security reporting, claims an Iranian ballistic missile was intercepted over Lebanon by a foreign naval vessel, possibly targeting U.S. or allied assets. That report is emerging and unconfirmed. Flag it as high priority for the next cycle. Third, the Strait of Hormuz. This is confirmed across multiple sources. U.S. officials told CBS News that Iran has laid approximately a dozen Maham-3 and Maham-7 limpet mines in the strait, magnetic and acoustic sensor-equipped anti-shipping weapons. CENTCOM has destroyed 44 Iranian mine-laying vessels in response. Maritime intelligence firm Lloyd's List confirms Iran has established a de facto toll system. Over 20 vessels have transited a Tehran-approved route past Larak Island, where IRGC personnel inspect ships and, in at least 2 confirmed cases, collected payment. One fee, paid by a Chinese state-owned tanker, was reported at approximately $2 million. Separately, commercially available satellite imagery from March 22nd confirms the combined force has heavily damaged IRGC island infrastructure across Greater Tumb and Abu Musa. Port berths, fast attack craft, fuel depots, communications infrastructure, and underground anti-ship missile bunker access points, all damaged or destroyed. Roughly 20% of global oil transits this strait every day. Iran is simultaneously being degraded there and attempting to monetize it. Fourth, Lebanon and Hezbollah. This is confirmed. Hezbollah claimed 54 attacks against Israeli forces and northern Israeli communities in a single 24-hour period ending March 24th, the highest single-day count since the group entered the war on March 1st. Drone usage is escalating. 14 claimed drone attacks on March 23rd alone, also a record for the conflict. The IDF estimates Hezbollah's remaining arsenal at 11,000 to 13,000 missiles and rockets. IDF Chief of Staff Zamir has approved expanded ground operations and airstrikes, described as a prolonged operation aimed at establishing a security zone to the Litani River, with 8 brigades now operating in southern Lebanon. Then the development that changes the long-term picture. Lebanon's foreign ministry formally expelled Iranian ambassador Mohammad Reza Shebani, declaring him persona non grata. Lebanese authorities also arrested 8 Hezbollah operatives transporting 21 rockets. Hezbollah condemned the expulsion as a coup. No Lebanese government has ever done this before. Lebanon is beginning to act as a sovereign state against both Hezbollah and Iran, a structural shift with major long-term implications for the axis of resistance. Here is what to watch next. Does Trump announce escalation, a further extension, or the opening of direct talks after today's deadline? Watch for satellite confirmation of the Esfahan industrial damage. Watch Lebanon, whether the expulsion of the Iranian ambassador holds or triggers internal political blowback. And watch the Strait of Hormuz for additional mine detonations or vessel seizures in the coming cycle. Those are your key updates for March 27th. This is the War Brief Daily.